Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Moeedin. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, we've got a very interesting topic for you today. We're going to be talking about ABD. Now, it's something that's always going to come up on the stream until we see him in South African colors again. We're going to be talking about how he's going to fit in, whether he should play, whether he should not play. We've all got split views on this channel about him and whether he should be playing South Africa for South Africa in the World Cup. I think I've come to the consensus recently, based on his recent form, that he should play for South Africa, and that should be the case. But we're going to be talking about RCBs, but particularly because I think that generally speaking, they get the best out of him. Now, out of all the places that he plays, Zanzi Super League, Big Bash, all of the places that he's played, he generally gets the best performances at the IPL. Now, we're going to just delve into some of the reasons why, and I'm going to get my friend Aditya on the show with me to discuss that too. But before we get going, before we get started, please click on that notification bell, subscribe to this channel too, to become a permanent member of this family. We really need your support as much as possible, so please get involved. Cool, so let's get Aditya on the show. Welcome to the show, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you.
ABD, the enigma that he is, the electrifying Mr. 360, someone that always seems to find his groove with the IPL. I've noticed a certain pattern with him. He tends to score, like, at least he'll score a massive run when RCB is in trouble. And generally speaking, when he knows he needs to score and he's the main guy that needs to score, he scores runs. Generally speaking, this is not a statistical point of view. This is just on my own eye watching games of RCB because it's the team I support. I'm basically watching nearly every game of RCB, and from my assessment so far is when they don't really need him. For example, if Kohli scored runs and Pandekal scored runs and other guys scored runs, AB doesn't tend to come to the party in those type of games. But I think that's maybe generally because he just comes out to try and smash, and it's not he performs better under that pressure. But from your point of view, what is your thoughts? Why do you think that RCB always gets the best out of AB?
$1 million question, and as Sunil Gavaskar often says, his name is not ABD, it's ABCDE, which is AB can do everything. The first reason that comes to my mind is a non-cricketing one, which is that he's happy at RCB. He's had a great relationship with the franchise. He likes playing with Virat Kohli. They're very good friends, and the team environment at RCB makes him happy. Like when he proposed to his wife in 2012, the franchise was responsible for setting up all the arrangements. So when you have that sort of a relationship, it's a happy environment, and he seems to be the kind of guy who likes that sort of relaxed atmosphere. That's a non-cricketing reason, and it's a very important one because the fact that he took a sabbatical before he retired, he took a sabbatical for 2 years where he didn't play Test cricket, but he went around the world playing in the various leagues, is quite a telling statement that in South Africa it's probably the off-field issues. He hasn't really spoken about it, but maybe that's a consideration that administrators need to think about, fans need to think about. If you talk about the on-field performances, of course, to me, AB de Villiers is a fantastic T20 player when the game is set up for him. When he's got Virat Kohli and Pandekal to set up a foundation, that is when he is at his best because he knows how many balls he needs to assess a wicket, and then he can launch from there on. And 90 out of 100 times, he's going to come through. So to me, for South Africa to get the best out of AB de Villiers, they need to focus on building a strong platform for him to be able to make optimum use of it. And
I agree.
It also works, like Maxwell talked about it previously, where he said that he feels very comfortable batting at 4, knowing that he's got AB waiting at 5, Dan Christian at 6, Sundar at 7, Carl Jameson at 8, which gives him the freedom to play the way he wants to. And that is also something that South Africa should think about, where you have AB at 4 or 5, and you have Miller at 6 and Morris at 7, who, if AB doesn't perform, can sort of make up for that, and that to me is where you get the best out of AB.
Yeah. You see, I think for me, if I look at it and I assess it, AB gets to do what he wants to do at RCB as well. He gets to play this type of game that he wants to play. Where, for example, at the moment he's batting at 5. It's perfect for him at the moment, because if it fails, and I feel that this scenario or that thing that Calvarena told me about, when there's a quick collapse, everybody expects you to fail, so the pressure's off. I think that's maybe something that AB thrives under. It's something where I feel he knows exactly what type of score they need to get to, and like you said, he assesses the wicket. And something that really stood out to me, and something that they mentioned actually on the commentary, is when last have you seen AB de Villiers actually hit a proper block, play a block shot? Like the last time you've seen him block for 0, it's hardly ever. It's normally a stroke that he plays for 0, or for 1. I mean, personally, I saw him block I remember in the Mzansi Super League when he faced Gerald Coetzee, and he blocked. And that just shows the sheer pace of a youngster, that the respect that a guy like Gerald Coetzee should be getting because of this. But that's besides the point. I think that AB is someone that needs to get that platform, and that's why I say imagine having someone at the crease as well that can run between the wickets with him. That's also very important. Someone that can rotate the strike. He did that very well in the RCB game, the last RCB game. They ran between the wickets very well. And I was looking at this, and I was just thinking about you, Aditya, and I was like, this is exactly what you were talking about that South Africa needs. When the pressure's on and you've lost a couple of wickets, take the pressure off by running between the wickets. Put the pressure back on the opposition by just getting the ball tick over. Slowly but surely you'll see that there's a platform set for you to now take it forward, and for AB to now expand. And I think with a guy like Rassie in the order, that would be perfect for him. I think they'll complement each other actually perfectly, with Rassie at 4 and him at 5. I think that's even an option, or switch the two around according to the game situation, which is excellent to be able to have that adaptability in the Proteas side. But we're talking over here like he must play. And when I'm seeing him perform like the way it is in India, it's a no-brainer from my point of view in that particular setting. Do you still think that AB needs to play one international game before, or one international series before he gets selected?
Absolutely, he does. Mainly because the team needs clarity on what individual roles are and how they're going to be executed. You know what? A mistake that if you go back to the 2016 T20 World Cup, where AB again I think was coming in at 4 or 5, and there was this refrain that AB should either bat higher or he should get more deliveries to face. I don't think that was a problem. The problem was that the openers of the top 3 didn't get off to quick enough starts, and they weren't rotating strike. It's more like it's more like you have a couple of good balls, and then you go for your release shot. And to me, that is why it's so important to have either Quinton and Faf opening, or Temba and Faf opening, whatever the selectors decide. But that's so important, because you have that experience of Indian conditions and you know how to utilize the power play. So clearly Faf has shown that he can score 33 of 17, batting at almost 200. And if he can do that for South Africa a few times, and Quinton can also chip in with, like a 30 of 16 or something like that, then the stage is set for AB de Villiers to really go crazy at 4 or 5, along with Rassie van der Dussen. Harsha Bogle made a fantastic point, where he said that when you think about AB de Villiers, you don't think about a designated batting position. You think about the number of overs left in the game. So
match situation.
Exactly. So if you have if you're if you're 3 down in 7 overs, then you don't send AB. You send someone else. But then if you've crossed 10 overs, that's when you really send AB, because then he's got enough time to assess the wicket and to really capitalize and swing that momentum in South Africa's favor.
And that's the whole point of here. I think that the way South Africa wins a World Cup is by having an adaptable team, being able to pick for games, pick for particular situations, picking according to who the opposition has in their teams. All of those things need to happen, and I think that in this particular World Cup, I think they will pick by merit, like they did in the 2019 World Cup. They were picking the squad based on merit. They didn't pick it on transformation targets, and I think they'll do the same with the T20 World Cup. I think the desperation to win the World Cup is so dear, and it's important that we pick a team that Boucher has freedom to pick who he needs, who he feels is right for South Africa for that particular game. I mean, having AB pass 5,000 runs and score his 40th IPL 50, it's all important. It's all incredible for him with regards to his confidence. But then I go see a stat today.
Yeah.
And then I see a stat today, and I know you can't compare it because this David Warner opens, but David Warner just passed 10,000. I was quite shocked about that, to see David actually T20 runs. Yeah, like, I mean, excellent from his part to be able to be that type of focal person in T20 cricket. I never expected to see those type of stats for David Warner. But I mean, IPL for 5,000 IPL runs is ridiculous for AB de Villiers in 173 matches, I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
So some excellent performance, excellent player. I think that we can't deny the experience in India playing in the IPL in pressure situations. I think that is something that's very key. But yeah, Aditya, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, and I'm going to wrap it up saying just two things. From an individual point of view, RCB have played 5 games so far. AB de Villiers has been the man of the match in 3 of them. He has won them 3 of those games.
Yeah.
People, good players make 3 man of the match performances in a year. He's made it in 5 games. That should be an indication of just how brilliant this man is. He is unbelievable. And secondly, my final point is that, and I'm going to say it again, is that South African management really needs to find a way to assess conditions and formulate a batting strategy to get to a certain target. If they find that a pitch is a 180 surface, plan to get to 180. A plan which is get as many runs as you cannot work. It simply cannot work. I think opposition teams are too smart for that sort of thing.
I think I've noticed that in RCB and not RCB in IPL teams. It's whenever a batsman comes out to the middle, there's a plan. It might not be executed correctly, but you can see that there's a plan. Like yesterday, the West Indian batsman from DC, Hardmeyer, right? Hetmeyer, yeah. He was completely botched that name, but Hetmeyer. You saw what the plan was. Get him on the other end. He's going to go for a big hits. That's what he's going to do. There was like you can see there's a plan from the coaching staff to show them how to approach the game.
Absolutely. And if there's ever a template for that, you just have to look at the way Chennai Super Kings and the Mumbai Indians play. That is how they've been playing for years. If MS Dhoni feels that a particular surface is a 170 surface, Chennai is going to try to get to 170. If they still lose that game, he's going to say, fair enough, we lost the game, the opposition came and played better, we probably did bowl well enough, or maybe we misread the conditions. That's fine. But you play according to a plan so that you can then identify where exactly you went wrong. What we've seen right now with South Africa and Pakistan in both the ODI and the T20 series has been let's try to get as many runs as possible and then we'll see. But that strategy does not work. It cannot work. Like, I think Players need some sort of specific direction, and I really hope that in this World Cup they get that, because the defining factor between a winning team and one that doesn't win as frequently is that under pressure. Then you don't have that fear of failure, because you've played according to a plan. If a plan doesn't work, fine, it's acceptable. Execution went wrong, or the other team played better. That's totally fine. But they do need to find a more strategic way of approaching their games.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true, Aditya, and like that's why it's so important to have a guy like Faf in that team, because he's also adaptable and he can help Quinton de Kock free himself up in the power play, which is so important. So having him as opening with 3 and switching between him and maybe Temba Bavuma. My point is that Temba Bavuma is gonna play. He's the captain, so we have to build a team around him, and that's important that we do so, because having Miller at 6, the cushion that, or the easy mind that AB will have coming out to the middle. You will have a more confidence coming out to the middle and feel more comfortable and more confident to be able to go out knowing that someone like David Miller is coming in at the end. So that's also very important. But guys, thanks a lot for coming on the show, and thanks a lot, Aditya, for coming on the show. Thanks to all the people that have tuned in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to obviously like, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos as well. Send it to all of the people that know that love South African cricket. Send it to all your fans, because this is obviously a South African cricket channel. And go to cricketfanaticsman.com for all updates. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot, Aditya, and see you guys again tomorrow with an offside maiden show. So stay tuned for that, of course. Cheers.